becoming an actor because back in about 15 years ago, I like to be happy. I like to be around people. I like to meet new people. I like to create, but I don't have a single recorded video training of my entire academy.
Okay. Right, so we have somebody super, super special today, and this has been absolutely, been on the list for a very long time. We have somebody who's been inspiring women, of course, at a very young age, and we're going to be finding that out very soon. A young founder, director, TEDx talker, speaker at the Josh Talks as well, and being able to now inspire loads and loads of entrepreneurs. We have none other than Spoorthi Vishwas. So, welcoming you, Spoorthi, and thank you so much for being a part of these success talks. And
Thank you.
welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gopika. Pleasure to be here, and thanks a lot for the lovely introduction.
Lovely. So, this is going to be more like an interaction, getting to find out from, one woman to another and really exchanging notes on how do we really keep ourselves inspired and, what we can really take out from your life here.
Sure.
So, something very interesting that, I've been able to really, really observe and study from the way that you've been able to progress, Purti. And I'm going to get started with everybody who's going to be hearing this, which is that when we start early off in our career, and something similar that has happened with you as well. So you started off also in the space of being an actor, right?
Yes.
And then moving into the space now today, very different, which is trainer and coach and entrepreneur and founder and director. Now, so let's try and identify, how do you connect dots for yourself from the past to present? And do you think that everything was actually happening for a reason?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great question. In fact, it kind of put me into thoughts. Okay, did it have connections, and did the how did this happen? Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, I started my career not as an actor, as a television host when I was
Mm,
16,
mm,
and then it was a very quick transition from a host to becoming an actor because back in about 15 years ago. Uh, there were very few channels and very few people who people knew,
mm.
right? So we were those people who people were like, okay, these are the ones, these are the television stars. Okay, so it used to be like that, and there was very limited people who went out there, became hosts and things like that. For me to get an opportunity as an actor did not take a long time because within a month I got an opportunity. I signed for a film, and then that's how it went off. And after
Wow.
that, I don't remember looking back. Honestly, nowadays it's very difficult because there's so many people looking for that opportunity. About 15
Yeah.
years ago, I feel really old because though I mean, it was 15 when I started my, television journey and all of that. And then my acting started immediately. But when I speak to people, I feel like, okay, I started doing it from 15 years. I feel like, okay, it's been too long. But yeah, it's been a great journey. The transition was very quick. And I did not look back because I was doing continuous projects, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, and things like that. And simultaneously, I wanted to, focus on my studies as well.
Mm.
So I did my BBM, I did my MBA, and even currently I'm pursuing my PhD from Swiss School of Business and Management. Along with that, I wanted to do my business as well.
Mm.
Because honestly, to be very frank, I didn't have a big vision or that kind of an aspiration to become a star or an actress. I never dreamt of it, or nor I had a long-term vision for being an actress.
Mhm.
So always wanted an entrepreneur, always wanted to do business, and then started event management company when I was 21. And then 23, I got married, 25, I had a baby, and then now, yeah. So things
Super. So a
at
lot of it
24, I
has
became, I
happened.
think at 26, 27, I became a trainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I want to share this with my audience today here, that Spurti might be mentioning that she started off early, but I also want to highlight that she's still extremely young for the kind of milestones that she's been able to achieve for herself and the kind of accolades that she's received multiple times: TEDx speaker, Josh Talk. entrepreneur, coaching, and the several hats that she's been able to wear as well. So, if I'm correct, you only graduated, post-graduated in the year 2015, right?
Yes.
So, other than hosting and being a television show actor and host, were you doing any other kind of work before that, before 2015?
2007 is when I mean finished my 10th, and then 2015 is I finished my MBA. That's
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
I was 7 months pregnant when I finished my final year MBA exam.
Okay. Okay.
And I was not doing anything before that. My beginning I started my career as a television host, and I did not look back after that. So before that, I was not doing anything. Yeah,
So that's interesting to hear that you didn't really aspire to be an actor, really. But
never.
today, now venturing into the space of being an entrepreneur, do you find that there was a lot of, I would say milestones that you did actually achieve, which helped you to become an entrepreneur?
Definitely. See, the thing is, I would say it was a privilege that I had becoming an actress and having that kind of a following on social media, as well as people recognizing me was definitely an add-on. If I say no, it didn't help me and all, it doesn't make sense because I have
Hmm.
had that privilege. When I go for a meeting, people recognize me as an actress or people recognize me as someone who is known. So the trust factor becomes more because you really can't do anything and run away or get off by that.
Yeah.
If you're speaking to an investor or you're speaking to somebody who is, whom you want to partner with, there's always a trust factor that comes in with someone who's popular because yeah,
Correct.
usko lagta hai ki ye to kuch banda kiya hai. So I always had that privilege of
Hmm.
being known,
Hmm.
and the initial start did not become difficult for me because of the kind of the social media popularity that I had.
Hmm. Hmm.
But honestly, I leveraged it only through my entrepreneurship. And to
Wow.
be very honest, my Instagram I started after I quit my acting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it has no link. Yes, there are people, a lot of people who follow me because they have been a big fan of my first film, which was a
Correct.
very big hit. That's Jolly Days. But the fact that I leveraged my profile in a very different way, they know me as that, but they kind of like me for who I am today.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's something which is definitely has been an add-on.
So completely leaving across something that you were doing for years, Purti, right? And then entering into a space of becoming an entrepreneur, of course, with a mission.
Mhm.
So, what was the real reason behind this? Why leave one and why not be able to handle it alongside?
Honestly, entrepreneurship, that also, it was not like, I had an aspiration about it, but I always wanted to. I'm a person who loves to celebrate life. I like to be happy. I like to be around people. I like to meet new people. I like to create new things. I like to meet different people every single day. And when I think about that, I think there's no other industry which is as best as event management and training. Both of that I'm doing
Hmm.
very actively
Hmm.
today. So I became an entrepreneur and started my event management company when I was 21.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So after that, I felt this is where I belong, and I started truly enjoying that, directing events, curating new events, and we specialize in creating intellectual properties like
Hmm.
our own, as well as we direct and create at IP for others as well. So
Okay.
that's something we specialize in. So I started liking that process of working on new projects every
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
None of the events are equal or same to each other.
Yeah.
So you got to work something different from each other, and every event is very different. So you're
Hmm.
not doing the same old thing, you're not doing the same old boring stuff. So
Hmm.
it's very different. And I started enjoying that process. And training, though, I love being on stage. I mean, I love being paid for talking. So I love kind of giving that skills that I have to the people who need it. So
Okay.
I totally enjoy it. So it was basically started as a thing that I would love to enjoy doing every single day for the rest of my
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
And that turned out to be a very serious thing when
Hmm.
I started gaining and understanding the actual essence of business. And business is something which is very, 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 it's a crazy thing.
Yeah,
It keeps you crazy every single time. You start enjoying the process of building systems, building team, making
yeah,
a lot of money, and that itself drives you to kind of, bring in a lot of more innovations in the things that you're doing.
so true.
So that's something it's really fascinated me over time, and I'm totally into it now, and I love doing what I'm doing.
Lovely. So we're going to get into more to finding about how you do and how you manage that stuff as well. But
Yeah.
before that, so today you are wearing multiple hats now, Spoorthi, right? You
Mm.
are an author, you're a speaker, you're a founder and director, and you are also managing the marketing wing of Travel Mart, right?
Yes.
Now, how are you managing these multiple hats in the same 24 hours? Share that insight with us.
Okay, honestly, I don't want to exaggerate it. Don't do the thing that I'm doing. Don't do too many things. I don't want to give wrong, thoughts in people that it's easy to manage all of this.
Hmm.
Honestly, I have too many things on my plate right now. And the next 2 years is I'm going to kind of either delegate, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, but I'm
Mhm.
going to delegate the 90% of the work that I'm doing and want to focus on one single thing that is there. But currently, if you ask me, are you enjoying doing all of this? Absolutely, yes.
Mhm.
I like wearing all of these multiple hats, and I wear almost 5 to 6 hats in a single day. Like,
Mhm.
Travel Mart as a marketing head, then my event management company as a director, as a trainer, I have to prepare to what I'm going to train. And
Correct.
then I go back to home being a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
There's multiple things that I play as a woman every single day. It's quite overwhelming at times, but in the process, I have started even embracing that being busy thing.
Wow.
But as kind of hit your 30s,
Hmm.
especially we women, we feel that we kind of get so clear about our life that what is that exactly we want.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
clarity comes in
Yeah.
as a what do you say, that's a female tendency, you see. I mean, I feel that after 30 I have this kind of a gnanodaya that okay, this is exactly what you want to do, Spurti, and
Yeah.
this is how you want to spend your time. So I think my all I want to do is training all my life.
Yeah.
That's something I'm not going to get bored of until even
Hmm.
60 or 70, probably. If you hit, if my health permits, then if I go on stage even when I'm 60 or 70, then I would probably still enjoy doing it.
Hmm.
That's my long-term vision. And I
Yeah.
want to build an automation and a system for my event management company where it can run at least 90% without me. That's the
Wow.
next 2 years plan. And Travel Mart also, I want to put it on automation where I'm gonna just be, kind of set systems and see how things are going. So that's how I want to automate it and want to give myself completely to training.
Wow. So a lot more, of course, already in terms of the planning that, I can hear also in between the lines as well.
Mm.
So what would a typical day in Spurti's life would sound like? Like a typical working day?
Okay, typical working day, 6 o'clock to the rush of that 6 o'clock is crazier than the rush of the whole day, because I got to send my daughter to school sharp at 7:30. That's the most, the critical time, because I am not a great mother and I
Hmm.
find it too much on my plate during that first 2 hours. So though my husband does 70% of the thing and I'm only do 30% of it, but still I feel overwhelmed about it. And then about 10:30, I hit office. Twice a week, I come to Travel Mart, twice or thrice a week. And
Okay.
rest of the days, I either work at home or work at my office where the other team members are working. So
Hmm.
I go back at 7 and then spend some 2 hours with my family, and then yeah,
Oh, wow.
scrolling through Instagram for some time and see what's new and things like that. And
That's
yeah, this
interesting.
is how a typical day looks like. But apart from that, in a month, I'm mostly traveling 15 days or 20. I mean, 15 days, 10 to 15 days is ideally something which I travel every single month. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's how it is.
So that's happy. I'm happy to hear 70% already being taken care by your husband, and still, you being able to acknowledge that fact. I'm sure that he's going to be able to very happy to hear this aspect of the interaction that we've had. When we
Yeah,
of course
and
appreciate.
he feels he has zero ego and zero issues about it because he feels proud of what I am doing, and he is
Mm,
really, really happy to do whatever best he can for the kid, and to give me that kind of space, and that kind of breathing space that I really need. Yeah.
lovely. So do you also practice if you're getting up at 6? Do you also get some time for your own spiritual well-being, Spurti? And do you like do it in your own unique way?
Honestly, to be very frank, for me, travel is everything. I spend a lot of time in solo travel, and
Mm,
I get a lot of time when I do solo traveling, whether it's work or whether I'm traveling just like that.
yeah.
And during my travel, I mostly spend about 2 to 3 hours just sitting doing nothing.
Okay.
Like if I'm traveling abroad, I just
Yeah.
mostly, even if I'm traveling with my family, I get off my time 2 to 3 hours, just go sit somewhere and maybe look at the sunset, or it might sound a bit unreal, but this is what I do for the kind of time that I need to unveil, to recognize what I really want to do. And also, there are times that I kind of sit alone and see, because I personally don't believe in a different genre of spiritual well being. I believe in recognizing what's not going right and taking corrective measures. So
Lovely.
this is something I have followed. And
Hmm.
definitely I'm a strong believer of energies.
Hmm.
And I believe good energies come being with good people. So I've been very, very, very cautious about whom I am surrounded with.
Yeah.
I am blessed that I don't have any, I mean, touch wood, touch all the woods. I probably have not chosen anybody who can give me even a bit of negative energy where I have to, kind of put away all of that. So I've been blessed with right kind of people around me and made right decisions at right time. So
Hmm.
that's something which I feel really good about. And yeah, that's being with right kind of people, spending that time alone when I travel. And when things are not going wrong, I take some time out, I kind of journal it, and I see where's that it's not going right, and how can I make myself better, where's my behavior that could have been better, and all of those things. And that's how I kind of get to the right track in terms of believing in myself and
Lovely. So, because you come from the space of inspiring a lot of women, right? You come from the space of inspiring coaches and trainers and entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs as well, right? Now, that's where, it means that we need to do a lot of self introspection to
absolutely.
actually deep dive and inspire another person's life. And I've been able to see that constantly year after year, you were doing a whole lot of these inspiration for empowering women like the Karnataka Women Achievers Awards. And now, you've taken it completely on a national front altogether. Now, how did all of this conception start? I mean, was there somebody else instrumental in this? Or were you completely pioneering this entire process of empowering women?
Okay. uh, this is initiated by me, completely taken care by my team.
Okay.
So I have worked really hard for it for the last first 2.5, 3 years. Now the whole system, I mean, the whole team is like a pro of the entire system. See,
Wow.
I'm someone who strongly believes in creating systems, and I don't mind working 3 years or 4 years to create a flawless system so that things run even after me and beyond me. You
Hmm.
know, people, even my team can run it without me. They know the SOPs, they know how it has to be run. And my involvement becomes much lesser when the things are in a very process, or things are very process oriented, or it's in a very systematic way.
Hmm.
So basically, it all started with a small thought that, I did not do anything for 3 years after my marriage, because I got married to a very conservative family with a lot of traditional values, which I was not raised with. I was raised by a very modern approach family, where my mom was someone who gave me all the freedom in life.
Okay.
So post which, when I got married to a very conservative traditional family, the whole life changed 360 degrees.
So true.
You know, from not asking permissions to fly abroad to asking permission to go to my mom's house, there was a huge shift.
Hmm.
I am sure a lot of women resonate with this, and that transition is something which I enjoyed a year, but later I kind of couldn't digest it for some time,
Okay.
and I started struggling,
Hmm.
and I had to battle that fight within myself because I had made that decision and not my parents or my family. It was a
Hmm.
love marriage, so I kind of had to battle that choice and things like that, and that is when started thinking, okay, I have given up on my identity completely, it was more like, who am I? And I didn't have an answer to say,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I've always had a lot of answers to say people when
Hmm.
they ask me, what do you do? And that 2, 3 years when people ask me, what do you do? I had no answer.
Hmm.
And that is the time where there was a lot of transition in me, a lot of things, thoughts came, and I kind of decided, okay, there's so many women in this country who are just shedding their dreams just for the reason that they're women. And I think, and there are so many women out there who have done exceptionally big in spite
Hmm.
of all these challenges,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right? Whatever I am complaining today,
Yeah.
it could be having a toxic environment at the home. It could be having it could be having not it could be like not having a support to take care of your kid. It could be no financial support. It could be no background. It could be no mother's support to take care of the child. It could be a lot of these things that we are battling today.
Hmm.
These are the same problems in much more difficult way that a lot of women have battled, and they have gone somewhere where they are today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ask any women achiever in this country, I can tell you out of 100, there might be 2 women or 3 women, that is 2 to 3%, who have not had this challenge.
Hmm.
97% women have these challenge, and I have met over more than 20,000 women achievers in the community in the last 7 years, and
Hmm.
I know the fact that they had their challenges, and some of the women achievers who are over 50 had much bigger challenges than what I and you have
Yeah.
today,
Yeah. True.
right? And their challenges is nothing compared to what we have today.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
still we complain, and still we have that kind of a thing that, okay, things are not right, things are not going well, and I'm not able to do this because of this. There's nothing like that.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you want to do it, you will figure out a way how to do it. And
Yeah.
that's the only message I wanted to tell the world through Karnataka Women Achievers Awards. Like that, look at these women, they've done it in spite of all the hurdles that we also have today. You can
Hmm.
do it too if you wish to.
Yeah.
So it started in a very simple way, but the way it's grown today, I think it's all because of hard work, perseverance, and
So ideas come to a whole lot of us, right, Spurti? But you
mm,
were able to execute this beautifully for it to really grow today and the way that it has been able to scale up. So tell me, that experience that we'd like to hear about how were you able to crack it that very first time and getting people to know about Karnataka Women Achievers Awards and why would they want to become a part of it? How were you able to crack it the first time?
fantastic. So, okay, Gopika, I think here's where the spiritual aspect comes in picture.
Okay.
Okay. You
Yeah.
asked me, how do you put yourself into, the spiritual way and,
Yeah.
the thought process. I think here is something where I can connect with the results.
Hmm.
It's purely, first thing, your win is totally proportionate to your intentions.
Hmm.
And I'm a very, very big believer of this.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
your intentions are pure,
Hmm.
and if your intentions are genuine, and if you are doing certain things with an obsession of making it good for the sake of somebody's good and your good,
Yeah. Yeah.
it will win by being obsessed about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Good
Yeah.
intentions, obsession, right systems.
Right.
These are things that has worked immensely for me. And whenever I'm doing something, I ask myself, okay, is this good for me? Is this good for others? Is it not harming me? Is it not harming others? And is it going to create good impact to the society? If my answers are yes, and I've seen all of these projects winning for me every single time I have done it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And once I get yes to all of these answers, I have no idea how divine blessings have happened and how I have met people, and what kind of people came into, the whole system
Yeah.
is miraculous. I didn't know any of them whom I'm closely associated with.
Yeah. So true.
Right? It could be the jury members, it could be the sponsors, it could be the kind of winners, it could be the kind of media attention we got, it could be the articles that was printed about us,
Hmm.
because we take pride in being the most recognized non-commercial award in the country.
Hmm.
In the era of awards being sold left, right, and center,
Yeah.
we take pride in being non-commercial. And if you want to win KWA, you got to earn it and you can never buy it.
Hmm.
Right? I don't mind if I don't make a single rupee out of it. It's okay, but I am not going to uh, allow anybody buy this award.
Yeah.
You gotta earn it. And that's the whole base that we have created for this platform. And I'm very proud of it.
Super.
So intentions plus obsession plus systems is what has got us. And we've corrected over time. First year we had a loss of about 12.5 lakhs,
Hmm.
which in fact my mom funded the whole system with her hard-earned money.
Hmm.
It was just 3 days to the final event, and I was short of 12 lakh rupees. People were laughing at me. Are you mad or what? To give an award to somebody, you're spending almost 25, 30 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
You gone nuts and things like that. I said, okay, fine, laugh at me. And today these are the people who would love to come and be a part of KW as a guest,
Yeah. True.
right? So it's a journey. Even today we don't make any money out of this whole three brands, but I've done it with all my heart and soul for the last 12 years. And I want to give my best and make it better every single year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's how it's gone.
This is all centered around the story of women, right? So, and this is, of course, coming from your personal story. Is that, and that is the true intention of, keeping up these events for awards only centric to women. Was that the only reason?
See, it's also, initially it started like that, but uh, going forward, the vision did not stay the same. So I started doing these awards within a year or year and a half. Women started telling me that one day I want to be there. You know, a lot of my students, I mean, I had no idea what training industry is. Honestly, Gopika, I didn't know there was an industry that existed called training industry until 2020.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I had no idea.
Hmm.
All I knew was, there is teaching college, my MBA, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I did not know until 2020.
That's when a lot of us explored.
Yes. So it happened more like, um, people started telling me that I want to become an achiever, but I don't know how to do it.
Hmm.
I really want to do it, but I don't know how to do it. That's when I started exploring and seeing how is that I can help these women. And there is when by God's grace, I got introduced to this amazing world of training
Hmm.
where you have the potential of bringing a difference in someone's life. And I
Hmm.
think that's the best thing that you can do.
Yeah.
You may give a job to somebody for certain number of years. You may even, kind of help somebody with food or some donation or some kind of charity to someone, and it relieves them at that point of a time. But I'm a strong believer of teaching some skill to somebody, which is going to be their lifetime return of investment.
Hmm.
And I, as a coach, definitely don't believe in motivational training.
Hmm.
A lot of people assume and perceive that I, kind of motivate. And I tell my students that I am not a motivational trainer. You cannot get any motivational talks in my trainings. And I'm sure it might be surprising for you that you can't see a single piece of my training in my entire Instagram or my YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a 10-second of content is available anywhere.
Okay.
Right? What I purely believe is someone who wants to get skills will be ready to pay.
Hmm.
Okay. And if they're ready to pay, they will be ready to commit. And if they're ready to commit, there are high possibilities of getting results.
Yeah.
And to get results, you got to get skills. And we are in an era where motivation will be drained the moment they go back to their house and see a negative
Yeah.
energy inside the house.
So true.
So I am someone who, if you want motivation, here to some motivational gurus, I cannot do it.
Yeah.
I am someone who can give you pure skills, communication, leadership, public speaking, entrepreneurship skills, marketing, sales, branding. Learn this, make a living out of it, and
That's
keep
enough.
upgrading yourself and keep moving forward. And this is something which can fetch you return of investment for a lifetime.
Lovely. So I see connecting dots from being an actor, being a host, and managing events. And then from what you have learned, being able to enable people to learn that skill as well. And that's how you got yourself into training of event management, training on leadership, on something that you had already practiced. And what
Yes,
you had practiced was coming across as a skill set to you today now, right? So
true.
now being an entrepreneur, and now that you've entered into the space of the training industry, right, that we've been able to get ourselves into this. So how much are you putting this proportion as to the team is going to do it, like in the case of your travel or in the case of your awards, it was being taken care by team, but how much of proportion is it being done by you here in the training and coaching and by the team now?
Okay. I know it's again very surprising, but I don't have a single recorded video training of my entire academy.
Okay.
100% of my trainings are done live and 100% are taken by me.
Okay. So
Okay,
it's,
we
it's
do
completely
have
well.
guest lecturers, guest speakers who come in to share their insights and add that value, but the whole curriculum is taken by me and it is live. It's either it could be on Zoom or it could be live in the
Hmm.
physical workshop, but it's never been a recorded, training.
Wow.
Never. In the last 4 years, I've not done a single recorded training that we have given students to, just watch this. We have not
Hmm.
done it.
Hmm.
Uh, Not because I don't want to do it, but I personally feel in my genre, it's really important because I am upgrading every single month.
Yeah.
I am mad about learning new things, especially
Hmm.
in the same field that I am doing.
Hmm.
Okay. And I keep upgrading. And what I have thought, if I've recorded a video about a year ago, I would have evolved 10 times
Yeah.
from that particular
So
video.
true. Hmm.
And I take limited people and I train personally and I give them that time. And once that is done, my team does the hand holding part.
Hmm.
Okay. So back end hand holding and the kind of support is given by my premium and platinum coaches. But live sessions is something which I personally do, myself. And I totally enjoy doing that as well.
Lovely. So that is
I know it's quite
absolutely.
draining for the fact that it consumes a lot of time and you're training, again and again, and it requires a certain kind of commitment, but it's fine. I mean, for now, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, for now it's fine.
Yeah.
Which means that if even if it's getting repeated, you still prefer to go live because that's how you're speaking about the changes that are bringing about even in your own set of learnings as well, right? So that's something which is very interesting because most of the coaches, they definitely have that as, you being using it as a facilitation process, which is recorded, programs or recordings that they of course offer them to their, set of learners as well. So now that you are into the training and coaching industry and you've been investing a lot, building up on your teams,
Hmm.
what would you want to, inspire women and more aspiring entrepreneurs in the same industry that you are? That how can they start planning on investing and, of course, spending across the time like the way that you're doing? How should they start?
You're talking about events or you're talking about
Training, completely
training?
training.
Well, I think, see, this training and mentoring is for women who aspire big.
Hmm.
I would not promote training and mentoring for everybody. It's not necessary. Okay. There are a lot of women in my own circle who are very happy with what they have. They have a good job. They have a good business that is running and they're okay with it.
Hmm.
Okay. And if they're satisfied and if they're not willing to scale up, be it that way. Okay. But if you're somebody who's not satisfied with what you have, and if you're
Hmm.
somebody who is wanting to get more, that is when you need extra skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? Extra skills only comes with continuous learning. And for me, if your income is not growing by 25% every single year, then
Mm-hmm.
you're not growing. Then you're not aspiring or putting that efforts into aspiring big.
True.
Okay, I put that parameter. I don't know about others. But for me, I scale my parameter in terms of money or financial growth. If I'm at least growing 25% when I file my returns every single year,
Wow.
right? And I want to see, is my relationship at a level where it has become better or it has been a little happier than what it was last year.
Hmm.
That's how I kind of, see how the relationship is going. God's grace, with the blessings of God, and have been blessed by a very good, beautiful family. It's fantastic. So I like to nurture that and see how better moments we can create. In terms of health, I want to see, because we don't age backwards, we have, getting, every year we are adding one more year to our life. So it's important that as a woman we want to see, that is my energy level the same, is
Hmm.
my, the health is kind of on the same track, or is it kind of improved. So that's
Hmm.
how I track my, what do you say, health. And then I also track my giving back to the society. Like, I definitely see what is that. And I've set certain parameters for all of these things in my life. And I kind of audit it. I genuinely do.
Hmm.
I kind of audit every single year on how I'm performing in each of these areas.
Hmm.
And imagine I'm doing well and I have reached my target this year in terms of my financial growth, and somewhere I'm going down with my health, then I put all of those to be as it is and focus more on the things where I need to work,
Yeah.
right? So that is when I need a health mentor. Maybe I
Hmm.
might not need a, you know, uh, financial mentor or an advisor that point of a time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you need to put your priorities. You can't do everything at once, but which is your top priority?
Hmm.
Figure out that, find a right mentor and somebody, today coaches and trainers are selling everything.
Yeah.
And according to me, a good mentor or a coach is somebody who's already done what you want to do and who's already become what you want to become,
Yeah. True.
right? And there are so many coaches who call themselves as sales coach, but at the end of the closing, they feel like, yeah, yeah, sales hi nahi hua. Yeah. So it's more like that. It's, people are teaching relationship, and a lot of times I have seen relationship coaches not having a good relationship themselves.
Yeah.
Don't preach what you don't follow,
Hmm.
right? It's okay, take time. If you want to become a relationship coach, work on yourself. It's not that you're single, you're with a partner or something, and is your relationship with yourself good first? Then you become a
Yeah.
relationship coach, right? So it's important for women to, I mean, it's important for everyone to find a right kind of mentor to
Yeah.
fix things. And mentors can change life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right mentors can give you a complete shift in your life and change the whole perspective of your life. So it's really, really important, if you want to grow in your life, you definitely have to have a mentor.
Amazing, amazing. Absolutely beautiful insight. So, Spurti, you've built up yourself in terms of your personal development, you've built up your business. And I'm wondering that, so a whole lot of the industry in the community, and especially the women entrepreneurs, they fear investing and building up a team. Why?
Mm.
Because they might not financially be very savvy with it as well, right? So, how would we want them to overcome that fear?
Right. See, the thing is, all of these fears comes with lack of knowledge and lack of skills. Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, I have seen, I don't work too much with technology or product-based businesses. I am more into service-based industries and small businesses,
Hmm.
and I can speak more about it. What happens with this sector of women entrepreneurs is they come unprepared.
Hmm.
I can give you an example of, let's take an example of a fashion designer, and
Hmm.
she's wanting to start a boutique, and she wants to do a very big boutique and run a
Yeah.
business and things like that. They would have finished their fashion designing course and got into this and started aspiring to start their own boutique. They might be amazing in their 4 years of learning. They might have learned the art like anything, and they might be the best at it.
Yeah.
But the point is, once you start a boutique, it's not just about fashion designing, it's about boutique management, it's about marketing, it's about sales, it's about
Hmm.
team management, it's about money management, it's about a lot of other things.
Correct.
And here's where they start focusing on all of this, and design also has not been given 100%. And these aspects, they don't understand anything. So
Hmm.
even to survive every single month, it becomes so challenging for them,
Yeah. So it's the
right?
lack of the knowledge and the
Lack
right
of
skills.
skills, lack of skills. So it's okay. I mean, after your graduation, take 6 months, take 1 year, get all the business training done,
Hmm.
get the business model done. You ask so many business, I think, I mean, as per I have an understanding, you go ask 10 women about business model, they'll be how to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
especially small and medium business owners, and who have started it in the last 3 years or something like that. I'm talking only about them. I mean, there
Correct.
are women who do it exceptionally big, and they're very clear about what they're doing. But I'm talking about these beginners who are doing it without that knowledge that is
Hmm.
required to start.
Hmm.
So get things sorted,
Hmm.
create a marketing strategy, create a plan for yourself, have the investment, planning.
Yeah.
And you asked me about the team. See, the thing is, it is very subjective. You know, maybe you're blessed to have that kind of a team whom you have figured out, and I am blessed to have that kind of team, because 100% of my team is
Correct.
is hired from my academy, like whom
Hmm.
I have trained.
Hmm.
They know in and out about me, and to come to become a team member, they would have
Yeah.
crossed a very, rigorous levels of cross,
Training. Yeah.
training. So for me, it is becoming very easy because they all are my students and they know me in and out. And I believe in creating replicas of me in my
Hmm. Hmm.
who can think, talk, walk, speak, give back like me,
Yeah.
right? And I believe in creating smarter people.
Hmm.
And I also believe in having team members who can advise me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, and team members who has the aspiration to grow beyond me.
Hmm.
That makes it a team with, you know with that fire.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling low someday, there is my team member who calls up and says, Spoorthi, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really important to build a team in a very, and it's a very short interview. So, certain leadership skills that comes into picture where you create a team members
Yeah.
who believe that your company is theirs.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, so that plays a very important role. Yeah.
Yeah, and doing it with all the passion that you earlier mentioned, right? And that is what really keeps up the spirit to whether you're keeping up teams, whether you're, keeping up your mission to achieve what you want to achieve. It all comes with that, that igniting, that burning desire that you have within that you mentioned earlier. So there must be days, Purti, that you've also felt defeated. And it could also be in the recent past. How do you, pick up yourself and what do you tell yourself?
See, this is a part of everybody's life, okay? I
Mm,
mean, there's
mm,
nobody's life which is all rosy 365 days, okay? We
completely.
all have these ups and we all
Yeah.
have these downs. And, not too long, I have seen days just about 3 to 5, I mean, not 3 to 5, 4 to 5 years ago also, I've seen days where I had zero bank balance,
Mm, mm,
okay? And I've seen life of, you know, that stage as well.
mm,
Uh, and there are days where I have felt nothing is working and things
mm,
like that as well. But what is something which I really appreciate myself is,
mm,
at that point of a time, my mind or my heart never asks me, why me? why did this happen to me? Why only me? You know, yeah, I'm gonna give up. Never. It is like, why did this happen to me? What did I go? Where did I go wrong? How can
Hmm.
I make that better?
Hmm. Hmm.
At this point of a time, what is that step I can do right now to get me out of this, trap, and see, make myself, I mean, put myself in a little better position so that, I can pick up from there.
Hmm.
My mind always thinks progressively, and I'm extremely proud of it.
Wow.
This is a difference between somebody who fails at a rock bottom and somebody who raises from there.
Hmm.
At that rock bottom, how you think decides your life.
Hmm.
Rock bottom is a mandatory thing for everybody.
Hmm.
You hit your rock bottom, and that time, some people look up and some people look down. Those who look down just go down, and some people who look up and saying, okay, I'm going to reach there, show me the way. And you ask the universe and you ask your spiritual connection, saying that I really want to go there, help me.
Yeah.
You will
Wow.
find it.
Lovely. So I always believe in this, right? If you feeling down, then first go ahead and inspire somebody else, and you'll instantly start feeling more rejuvenated because of that. And that's something very similar that you're mentioning here. Speak to the higher self, and you'll be able to get the answers as well to pick up yourself from whichever situation that you are. And it's of course never been so easy, and that's exactly the journey that I wanted to share with who's listening to this video today. So, just a last few takeaways from anybody who's really wanting to start off their entrepreneurial journey, and especially as a woman, right? So, what would you want to share for them here?
Well, first thing, uh, a lot of people wanting to do something, just do it, just want to do business because uh, they feel business is much easier than go to a 9 to 5 job, which is not. Business is a 24/7 job, at least for the first 5 years until you set systems.
Yeah.
Second thing, don't do something just because you love it.
Hmm.
Yeah? You can't love your business because when you love it, you will start compromising on the money.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Do it because you can do it because it has money in it. Business is equal to money, it's just not passion.
Hmm.
Okay. And if the passion, if the business that you're doing is with passion, it aligns with your passion, fantastic.
Hmm.
Right? So the third thing that you really have to know is understand the market size, study, get the technology right, see where that particular industry which you want to get into is right now, how well it is performing,
Hmm.
how big is the market size,
Hmm.
and what is that vision you have for that particular business that you're willing to start, and what are the exact skills that you really need to
Hmm.
lead that particular business,
Okay.
and work on these things. And also, you should. I mean, in this, I would upfront say people like Rajiv Talreja, and some others. I don't want to name out too many, but I feel for beginners who want to start, they have to attend sessions like this, which are so structured, so well designed
Yeah.
to get you the idea what is required to start a business.
Correct.
Right? Instead of burning 3 4 lakhs every single month, invest in a coaching which will help you gain all that insights, and you don't have to burn the all of your, rest of your life.
Correct.
So get those training which is required to become an entrepreneur. Today, the world is so accessible compared to what it was 5 6 years
Hmm.
ago. Even 10 years though, you can't even speak about it. 5 years, it has drastically become so well advanced now. You have training accessibility for everything.
Yeah.
You just have to have the intention of learning.
Hmm.
So prepare before you start.
Hmm. Hmm.
Become ready and then start.
Wow.
Don't, okay, people say, I will learn by the flow. You have no idea how pathetically draining it's going to be.
Yeah.
And what I did in 15 years with training, you can do it in 2 3 years now. That's amazing about today's business,
True. True.
right? What we all took 15 years to build,
Yeah.
today you can build it in 2 3 years. And that's how amazing business system
Hmm.
can change your life.
Hmm.
So you got to explore that, understand, and prepare before you start. That's what I would like to say.
Absolutely a lovely insight for, somebody new, already into it, existing, wanting to grow. I think lots of takeaways on that. So thank you so much, Spoorthi. And, this is something that we're really going to look forward to being able to share it with as many people and audience, of course. But thank you so much for taking out the time for us and, sharing your beautiful learnings and experiences in the form of, now learnings for others as well.
Thank
So
you
once
so much.
again, thank you.
It was
Thank you so
lovely
much.
having a conversation with you. Thank you.